Hello everyone and welcome back to another Super Rugby podcast with your hosts Toby Harris and
Damien Warren.
Now,
I don't like that.
No, I don't like you either. First up
we
today,
have to live
as
together,
always,
we got to live together.
We have to plug ourselves.
We do.
And I've even done a little slide here so we don't muck it up.
Are they correct, though?
They are. On YouTube, you can find us on Super Rugby Podcast, on the Twitter, the Super Rugby Pod at twitter.com, the Gmail, Tobes.
The Super Rugby Podcast, the Super Rugby Pod at gmail.com.
I've even done a slide so you do not muck it up, and you still muck it up.
Can I just say, as a youth, I'm up with the technology and up with the times. We might be going on to the Instagram soon.
Oh, we're going to go Instagram. Well, we are on the Facebook.
We are on the Facebook. And we're
Super Rugby Podcast on that. So any of your questions that you'd like to give us on a weekly basis, as I said last week, we do this on a Tuesday night. It goes out, then that'd be much appreciated. We love answering your questions. Breaking news is up first, Tobes. This is for you. You said you wanted to go breaking news first, so we're going to go breaking news first. And we've gone here, an upset loss, not setting alarm bells for the Rebels. Now,
was it an upset, though?
Well, kind of, yeah. The Sunwolves.
The Sunwolves, a powerhouse, mate.
What I'm thinking is, which loss? Because they haven't won in this pre-season. They haven't won in pre-season.
No.
And their first one up against the Sunwolves. I mean, I know the Sunwolves were at home.
Yeah.
But really, the Rebels losing to the Sunwolves, not really the start.
It's not very nice on the Sunwolves, though.
No, it's not nice. But you've got to look at the Sunwolves and say they've really hardly got a squad out there this year.
Yeah, true.
So
they got Ben Teo, mate.
And he played well.
Yeah.
So not setting alarm bells, well, I'm really sorry, but it should be, because there's a long season ahead for the Rebels.
Yeah.
And they've still got a couple of good players, but the cupboard's pretty bare.
It looked pretty easy too for them.
We're going to go over that, but it was almost pub rugby.
It was.
It was almost pub rugby.
As we like to say, village rugby.
Absolutely. Oh, I like that. Hey, next one up though, and I found this one quite funny. When they drink, and this is the Ione brothers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They go crazy. All Blacks late night parties causing havoc. That might sort of tell us a little bit about why he didn't play very well last year.
Is that because, that they've both of them quite young superstars? Well,
yeah, no, they are.
Maybe not superstars, but
he is
rising stars.
Yeah,
and then they can do what they want. They must have people like ladies all over them.
Yeah,
surely.
You're right. You're right. I think that the neighbours are just jealous. I mean, what do you expect? Young, incredibly wealthy,
attractive.
He earns,
if I do say so myself.
He earns the biggest pay packet of any All Black. He was right up there with Kieran Reid.
He was, wasn't he? Yeah.
So, he's obviously got low money. He's got a load of money, got a lovely house.
Yeah.
And happy
Why
days.
Not, though?
And all the girls are flocking
He plays rugby for a living. What more would you want?
You're only young once, mate.
Yeah.
When you're old like me, you look back and think, I probably would as well.
You're not old, mate. You definitely don't look old. Oh, wait, you do. Anyway, next one. What's else have we got breaking news?
We've got the old Rebels coach thought about quitting.
Yeah, he should have.
But he chose to reinvent himself.
Yeah.
So,
sorry, mate.
If he was thinking about quitting before the season, he's definitely thinking about quitting now.
To be fair, we've been harsh. One game in.
It's
one game into the competition.
Trust me. We're not being
How
harsh.
many games are they going to win? How many games do you think?
Oh, I think they'll struggle. I think, obviously
they'll win some games, surely. They'll beat the Crusaders, I'm sure. Hands down.
It'd be really interesting actually to see, because they probably didn't really want to play the Sunwolves first up, but to lose against the Sunwolves, then you are battling for
You're on the back foot.
You don't
straight
really
away,
have
aren't
very
you?
many easy games
No.
in that conference, really. I mean, you look at the Brumbies, pretty strong. The Reds are pretty strong.
Yeah.
The Waratahs, obviously, from the weekend didn't look as strong. Yeah,
But they are, though, aren't they?
Yeah, I think
There's
they are
always
strong.
in and around.
And the last breaking news we've got here.
Next generation. Can the next generation save Australian rugby? Burning questions. You shouldn't have used the burning questions, mate. It's a bit too soon, isn't
It
it?
is very, very soon. I didn't use it, man. That was
did
someone
you
else.
not? Oh.
I can't take credit for that one. They're saying that basically this new generation of Australian players, I think they're talking about, you know,
The youngsters?
the junior
Yeah.
Wallabies.
A bit like France at the moment.
France, they've won the Junior World
Yeah.
Cup, I think 3 times in a row.
Really?
And I think Australia did that
Yeah.
quite a while ago. And then this group is that
crew
quite
coming
successful
through.
group coming through, and they've got a new coach, Dave Rennie.
Yes.
And we're going to go talk a little bit more about Dave Rennie, but it might be. I mean, save Australian rugby. I think Australian rugby has been up and down for years and years.
They just haven't had like a consistent coach, have they?
The last consistent coach that I can think they've had was Bob Dwyer when I was a young whippersnapper. And he was kind of, that was when Australia were absolutely amazing for many, many years. The Campese years, Michael Liner years.
The good old days.
The good old days with leather balls.
Oh.
And really long grass.
Oh.
That cushions your fall.
You've literally just said leather balls
Yes.
and long grass.
Absolutely,
Not
mate.
a good look.
I remember back in the day when in the main stadiums, the players sometimes were standing on dog poo. Yeah. Cardiff Arms Park, okay, in Cardiff obviously. All Blacks went to play and they were doing kicking practice, and I think it was Frano Bodica at the time was doing his kicking practice, and he stood right in a big
That's a ridiculous
big
story.
dog poo.
A ridiculous story.
And that just wouldn't happen these days, would it? Wouldn't happen these days.
You wouldn't see a dog near one.
No, they couldn't
Yeah,
get in, could they?
stadium.
Couldn't get in. I can't even
if
get in,
this-
let alone a dog.
I was just about to say, if someone blind comes in, invite your dog around.
Guide dog.
Yeah, guide dog.
Oh, mate.
Do you no? But this is serious. This is
Where are
serious.
you going with this?
Would a blind person come just for the atmosphere, just to listen to it?
Oh, yeah, I don't see why
It'd be
not.
amazing,
It'd be fantastic,
wouldn't
wouldn't
it?
it? The sense
Imagine going into Twickenham and hearing Swing Low.
Sweet Chariot.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool,
Yeah,
wouldn't it?
it's a cool feeling. You know, I'm not a huge fan of English rugby, but I really enjoyed that. That was awesome when I went down and heard that.
It did seem the little chills running down your spine, didn't it?
But then New Zealand won.
It's like the haka. When you watch the haka, it definitely gives me the chills.
Yes.
The only problem with the haka is it just happens at the start of the game.
Not
I mean,
during.
that's
or the
it.
end.
That's done. So, you know, the English you got let. Well, I think all the teams. What do the Wallabies sing?
The Wallabies.
Yeah, the Wallabies, don't they sing some song? And that always gets them going.
Something about Marmite, probably.
Pavlova.
No, that's New Zealand, mate.
Yeah, Crowded House.
Yeah.
That's also New Zealand.
Crowded House.
But our next question up, this came from a listener's question. It was come from David from, have a guess.
Oh, is it Suffolk?
It is in Suffolk, yeah.
Ipswich.
From Ipswich.
Oh,
That's right, David
what
from
a
Ipswich.
guess.
It was. And his question is Warren Gatland a super coach? And we're going to dissect it today. First up, do you think Warren Gatland is a super coach, Topes?
Oh, I mean, he's had a great coaching career. He's been around a long time. He's been to a lot of different places in the world, but also different countries because he's done Ireland, he's done Wales. Has he had a stint at Scotland?
I don't think he's done
I don't
Scotland.
think so.
No.
But then he's done Wasps. He's British and Irish Lions.
That's right.
Chiefs. He's been
Yeah,
played for the Chiefs.
He's done it all, hasn't he, really? I think this comes from...
He's an OBE. Did you know that?
I didn't know he's an
Yeah.
OBE. You've been doing some research,
I know.
haven't you?
I'm feeling very unwell.
I think this comes from the fact that I said that the Warren Gatland effect will come in 3 to 4 weeks. And what I meant by that is he's a new coach. He's got new systems. So therefore, those systems are going to take a little bit of time to bed in. But what he's done is he's been able to attract top players to the club. Example of that is Aaron Cruden. That probably wouldn't have come back to the Chiefs had he not been there. But what he's massively done is he's stopped lots of players from leaving the club. They maybe stuck around for an extra year or two.
Do you know how I think he's done that?
He's paid them out of his own back pocket.
No, because he probably earns a lot of money. But I was watching a video on the Facebook, and it was Aaron Cruden, and Aaron Cruden made a very good point about Warren Gatland. Warren Gatland spent, was it 11 or 12 games for the All Blacks on the bench, non-internationals.
Yeah. Never played a test match.
No, and he sort of reiterated that into the Chiefs, and it's almost brought it back around. If you're on the fringes, it doesn't mean you're left out. Yeah,
so he's proper team man.
Yeah, proper team man. He went through that hardship, but now look where he is.
Absolutely, yeah. One of the most successful coaches. Yeah. Arguably, as we're going to talk about, a super coach. But he's seen it all before. So he's coming in, he's seen it all before, and he's going to be able to fix things almost before they happen.
Well, hopefully.
So, you talk about, club environment and team environment. If he sees little problems emerging, he's going to...
Been there, done that. I've seen this before. Yeah. We'll sort that out before it gets... And do you know what he's really good at? He's really good at creating a good team around him as well. Really good. He knows how to win. Tight matches. You look at Wales. How many tight matches have they won? Arguably not their semi-final in the World Cup, but we won't talk about that one. But, he's done an amazing job with Wales. Well, he's done an amazing job with Ireland before Six Nations last year. He won a couple games by a couple of points.
Oh, yeah. France. He was 16-0 down at halftime.
Yeah.
And he gets them to come back after a halftime speech.
What do you say?
You're 16 points down.
Come on, fellas.
You need to get your
finger.
out. We're just going to look at in a little bit more detail that point I made, which is how he's managed to attract or keep players. So these are the numbers for ins and outs in the squad for over the off season. So we can see Chiefs, 16 players left. Yeah, but 16 players arrived.
You've even got the mouse on there, the cursor.
The cursor, mate.
Far out.
So modern technology is absolutely amazing.
How'd you do that?
I don't know. Next up, though, we look at the Crusaders. So Crusaders top, won it 3-peat. 12 out, 8 in. So they're actually down on their squad. So, you look at another top squad, you would imagine a lot of players would want to be part of that squad. They lose 12, can only get 8 in. Then it's the Bulls next. We're looking at South Africa. 29 players left, only 17 come back.
How many do they have in a squad?
Yeah, there's like a wider squad as well. So this is the whole squad. They have loads, mate. They have like 30 in a squad, but then they have a wider squad as well that they don't pay very much.
So they have like B teams and stuff like that, or Bulls A.
Yeah, they have they have a full
and then like academy.
Yeah, well, they basically try and bring players up through,
right?
And they can pay them like I think it was 50,000 New Zealand dollars just to be part of the wider training squad.
That's a lot of money.
I would take it,
hands down, mate.
Lions are up next. Look at the Lions. So they're 25 out and 13 in, so they're down. And then we've got the Reds at 16 out and 13 in, which actually they recruited quite heavily.
Yeah, they did okay.
But you look
this next one is just ridiculous. That's why I asked the question.
Are you ready for this?
Who has...
Here we go. This is the Sunwolves.
Who has 67 people on their books?
I know.
Probably Saracens.
67 people, right? Leaving 37 players contracted to be part of their squad. It's absolutely amazing, isn't it?
That's ridiculous.
It is. But you can see they're the only team out of all of those that have managed to basically get back to eat par.
Yeah.
And some of those names coming in are fantastic players. I mean, you're always going to have a natural loss of players with retirement
and injury. Oh my God, personal jinx, golden jinx.
So that's his effect that he's having already, even before he's arrived. But you can look at his history.
I know, this is fantastic,
This is pretty amazing, isn't it? So you look at the teams that he's coached. So we're going back to Ireland. He coached Connacht before he got the full Ireland job, and he was very successful with Ireland, and then he got binned off. He got binned off Ireland.
Was that after the World Cup?
Oh, mate, no, I don't actually know, because you look at the World Cup. That World Cup happened in 2003, didn't it? 2003 World Cup. So he was Ireland between 1998 and 2001. He did a great job, got binned off, and then he went to Wasps, where he was absolutely fantastic. Came back home, took his Waikato team, and we're going to go through his actual sort of representative stuff and trophies that he's won. Then he took over as the Chiefs technical director or advisor, moves to Wales, and we all know about his history of Wales. But one thing that we didn't know a lot about is maybe that he was assistant coach with the British and Irish Lions, and then he took over. So he's been part of the British and Irish Lions for 3 tours.
Again,
plus he's going to go for another one, isn't he?
Yeah.
Let's look at what he's won, though, and this is really impressive. So, what has he won? As Wasps coach, 3 premiership titles, 1 Heineken Cup. Now, to win a Heineken Cup when he did, as an English team, was almost unheard of. You know, unbelievable. Waikato, we went back to Waikato, 1 NPC title with Waikato again.
That's not bad, though.
That's pretty damn good.
Auckland were pretty good back then. Wellington were good.
Crusaders,
Poverty Bay weren't
Canterbury.
good. Poverty Bay weren't good.
Buller were amazing.
Class.
Wales, 6 nations. He's won it 4 times.
Yeah.
The Grand Slam 3 times and the Triple Crown 3 times. And this is probably his biggest feather in his cap.
Yeah.
Maybe why he wasn't so popular with New Zealand public. But to take the Australians to a winning series and then to take them to a drawing or a share of the series with New Zealand is absolutely amazing.
He's a pretty amazing coach, isn't he?
He is. And I think when we talk about super coaches, you talk about a coach that goes anywhere and brings success.
Yeah.
Now you think about where he took Wales from literally embarrassment. Fiji beat them in the World Cup.
Yeah.
To a World Cup semi-final that they lost with the last kick of the game to the eventual champions. That's pretty impressive, eh? So is he a super coach? I'm going to say
yes.
Hell yeah. Absolutely.
I'm really intrigued to see how he does with the Chiefs.
Yeah. He's got off to a good start.
Season?
No, I don't think it will. The Super Rugby seasons are long, aren't they? They're long.
We're gonna go through the Super Rugby games soon, and the halftime score between the Blues and the Chiefs says a lot, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, it's a bit like France. You're 16 points down to France, and he whatever he does, his subs that he brings on, everything works for him. He's been there, done that. But let's look at some other examples of super coaches. This is my take on it. You might think I'm wrong, but you've got to give Razzie. You've got to say Razzie's super coach, don't you?
Can I just say though, I'm just looking on the Wikipedia.
Where all good information is found.
He's never beaten the All Blacks.
He's never beaten the All Blacks.
Never beaten the All Blacks.
But very few coaches have beaten the All Blacks.
He's never beaten the All Blacks with Wales.
Exactly.
With Wales.
No one's ever beaten the All Blacks. But I think Wales has won once in the history of their whole world of rugby. So, not many have won, and not many have beaten the All Blacks, really. It's interesting, though, isn't it? How many coaches have beaten the All Blacks? You'd say English coaches have beaten the All Blacks. The Irish coaches have beaten the All Blacks. South Africa, obviously, have beaten the All Blacks. Australia. But you look at the teams that really have struggled, and it's the rest of the world. Yeah. France, obviously, they've got a good history.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
And important games. Really important games.
Bastards. Anyway, we're going back.
Yeah, Razzie. You've got to put Razzie in there, don't you?
Definitely.
Everywhere he goes, he brings success. He's a subtle changes.
Where is he now?
He's still with the... We mentioned this last week, man.
Are you sure he is?
He is, yeah. He's still the director of South African rugby, and he's still going to be there on match day, and he's basically become the manager of
I'm not
like a
gonna lie,
football
that's
manager.
not a great picture of him.
I think it's a great look at him. He's looking
he smells
thoughtful.
something funky, yeah, isn't he? Oof, Damien.
Hey, the biggest one for me, I know this is, I'm a Crusaders man through and through, Wayne Smith. Everywhere he goes, he brings success. Even Northampton Saints, when he came to English rugby, were absolutely
fire
in a shocking state. And although he didn't win the premiership,
he brought them back.
He brought them back from the brink and laid the foundations. And then he went, he's won with the Crusaders.
Yeah.
He's won with the All Blacks. He's won. He hasn't obviously won with Northampton Saints, but he got them.
Was he in Wales? Was he at Wales?
Not at Wales. No, that was,
where was he?
Graham Henry and Steve Hansen.
Right.
But then now he's in Japan, and guess what's happening with his team in Japan? Doing amazing things.
Are they?
Doing amazing. Now this is an interesting one, and you might not agree with me on this, and it hurts me to probably put it, but you've got to say Eddie Jones.
Steady Eddie.
He
did well with Australia.
Did well with Australia. Did well with South Africa. Won a World Cup with South Africa.
Was he with
South
Africa?
Yeah, he was with South Africa. Assistant coach was South Africa.
2007.
2007, yeah.
Oh, yeah. At Japan did well.
Japan beat them. And, beat obviously South Africa. First time, and probably, first time that's happened.
And then England.
And then he's doing a great job with England. Yeah. Although I do think he's kind of the Mourinho of rugby, which is short-lived. You can deal with them in short spaces, short times, but not over a long period of time. Now, you ready for the next one? Scotty Robinson, mate. I think he is a super coach.
He's early days.
Now,
very early days into his
I do agree
career.
with you. Can we say he's a super coach? Because
not yet.
He hasn't gone overseas. But I don't want him to go overseas.
No, but you can't do. He's only coached one team.
No, he would. Yeah, okay. So he's coached the Crew. He's coached Canterbury NPC.
Yeah.
Took them to the NPC title for, I think, 2 or 3 years in a row.
Okay.
He then took over the Crusaders when they hadn't won anything for 9 years, and he's won 3 in a row. He has done his only blemish on his career is his
the under-20s, wasn't it?
The under-20s, where arguably, and that's a little bit different, isn't it? Because you're only coaching them for a short amount of time.
Yeah, true.
You're not developing those players. If he can pull off a 4-peat, which I think will be just, I don't know how he will do it this year, but if he can do it, that is him he's a super coach for me. The last one, and this is a massive shout. It's got to be Dave Rennie. Dave Rennie has been successful, or people might argue that he's gone to the Glasgow Warriors.
Stephen Hansen?
No, not Steve Hansen,
think so?
mate. No, because Steve Hansen, great coach from the point of view of what he's done with the All Blacks, but he has had the All Blacks. And he did have an amazing group of players.
Again, almost like Mourinho.
Absolutely, yeah. But Dave Rennie, look, everywhere Dave Rennie goes, he brings success. Chiefs success. Chiefs success. They haven't won Super Rugby before. He laid the foundations. He did that with no money as well. They literally had no money. And everywhere he's gone around the world now, and I think it could be quite dangerous because he's a hell of a coach going to Australia. Hell of a coach going to Australia. Yeah,
I'm a bit scared about that. It'll, again, very interesting. But again, I'm going to use that word. Again. It's early days. We haven't seen anything from him.
I would say, arguably, we wouldn't say he's a super coach yet. But if he can do something with Australia, then he's super coach, isn't he?
Yeah.
Now, the only other one that I'm going to chuck in there that's not currently coaching, that I think is a super rugby coach, not super rugby, super rugby coach, yeah, you know what I'm getting at.
Wow.
Bob Dwyer. Bob Dwyer, when he took Australia and he was successful consistently. They were...
Yeah, but again, is that just one team?
But over a generation. He took that team from not being great to being just...
Fantastic.
Arguably you could say that about Scott Hansen. So maybe you put them in that bracket. But
Scott Hansen.
Steve Hansen, sorry. Scott Hansen's his brother.
Village.
But yeah, so definitely for me, Warren Gatland is a super coach. And I would put those guys either right up there with him or pretty close to him. The interesting thing is not many of them are actually kind of, at that point now. So you'd say Razzie, well, he's kind of hanging up the reins. Wayne Smith, he's hung up the reins.
Yeah.
Eddie Jones is...
How long's he going to be?
Yeah, exactly. Will he coach again? Oh, he just loves it, doesn't he? And then you've already only got 2 at the bottom that you're going to be around for a very, very long time. But up next, we are going to predict...
We are.
This week.
I've actually done my predictions
matches.
as well. Are we predicting or are we going... We're going over the matches, mate.
Oh, we're going over the matches.
Your village tonight.
We're going over. I've got my PowerPoint done, and I've just got a bit excited, Tobes. Let's look at. So the first one up was the Blues and the Chiefs, and you mentioned halftime. What was the halftime score? Can't
remember, mate. It was 19 something.
Yeah, 19-3 or something along those lines. Was it a great game? It was a great game from a point of view. It was exciting.
Yeah.
But
a lot of points scored.
It wasn't a great game. There's a lot. The first round of the competition, there's a lot of defensive frailties. Going from the World Cup where you've got England, France.
Yeah.
All these teams from the
But
from
that's
the northern
why I like
hemisphere.
Super Rugby, because there's so many points scored, so many tries scored.
There is, but some of the quality of the tackling is shocking. Hooper. Going over, Hooper's a fantastic player. Missed 5 tackles on the weekend.
Yeah.
Unheard of, really. Unheard of. So Blues probably shoulda, woulda, coulda, and that is the Blues, isn't it?
Well, they don't know how to win.
No, they certainly don't know how to win because, Rico, fantastic.
Yeah.
Rico,
I'm
fantastic.
glad he's getting back into it because there was, last year where he wasn't in favour with the All Blacks. Could have been because all that drinking and all the ladies.
We don't really know, do we?
No, but, I'm glad he's coming back into form.
Well, he needs to, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He needs to. What was the difference between the two teams for me? It was Aaron Cruden. Absolutely unbelievable comeback.
He ran that well, didn't he?
He ran and kicked his goals, and he gave the pass. He gave the pass out the back door to the winger, and I don't know who it was actually that scored in the corner.
Was it Wainui? I'm not sure it was.
Absolutely fantastic. That was the difference for me was Aaron Cruden.
Yeah.
And if Barrett had been playing for the Blues, then maybe he would have been the difference. So that's something to, if the Blues can pick up some points and get through this period where they don't have Beauden Barrett to choose, they could have an interesting season ahead as well. So our next match was the Brumbies versus the Reds.
Yeah, we thought the Reds were going to win.
Yeah, well, I'm not surprised that they lost. I'm not surprised that the Brumbies won.
No.
I think early season, the Brumbies are... they've got their structure in place. They've had it in place for a number of years now. They played great rugby last year. The Reds are a new team.
Yeah.
They're a new team and they're looking good, but they're young, they're inexperienced, and they're away from home.
Well, we got that wrong, but Rugby Forecast got that right.
They certainly did. And Brumbies deserve to win it. And Brumbies are looking good, but I still feel the longer the season goes on, the better the Reds will get.
The
and
more
I still
cohesive.
think, I still think they'll win their conference.
It's a big word, that, Damien. Are you proud of me?
I'm very proud of you, mate.
Thank you.
Sharks versus the Bulls. This was a kickathon.
I said the Bulls were going to win.
We both said... Oh, no, I said the Sharks.
Yeah, you said the Sharks.
I said the Sharks. You said the Bulls, yeah. And I think Rugby Forecast, from memory, said the Sharks with me.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
23-15, terrible game.
Didn't watch it.
Terrible game, mate. You're lucky.
Okay,
good.
You
saved yourself 2 hours of your life. It was an absolute kickathon. The only thing that was good to see was a decent crowd in the background.
Yeah. Yeah.
In fact, some of the crowds over the weekend were pretty good.
Bad.
Were pretty good. So the Sharks did deserve to win it. They had a slightly better kicker on the day. He kicked slightly better. Mornay Stain kicked all his goals though.
Yeah.
Didn't miss, but Sharks just had a little bit more rub of the green.
He's got the radar going, hasn't he?
Hey, Sunwolves though. The mighty Sunwolves have won their first game and are leading.
Didn't look like losing.
And are leading the conference.
Heroes.
In their last year after they've been kicked out of Super Rugby, they're going to win Super Rugby.
How good would that be?
It's never going to happen.
No, but how good would it be?
Ben Teo, though.
Yeah, played well.
Absolutely.
We said that earlier, didn't we?
Yeah, Reece Hodge is still, waking up with sweats because he got absolutely boomed by Ben Teo.
He did, yeah.
And it was great to watch. It was great to watch.
All legal, of course.
Crusaders versus the New South Wales Waratahs.
Yeah.
That was actually closer than people. 43-25 sounds like it was a walk-away, run-away performance.
It's impressive. It sounds impressive.
Yeah.
But it came within 4, didn't it?
4 points, yeah. It came within 4 points. And the young New South Wales winger, which I can't pronounce his name, big hair like yours, mate.
Hair like
yours, yeah.
Beautiful.
Scored a couple of really good tries, and that looks good. And that's what we're talking about, generation next.
Yes.
For the Australians, he's part of that. I think he's 18 or 19 years of age. Yeah, he's a big unit. So Crusaders played pretty well.
Yeah.
Deserved the win, but can their forward
They
pack...
played Nelson too, didn't they?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Wasn't a big crowd. You know, Nelson, I thought would have put out...
I thought they would have
bit more crowd.
Obviously, Crusaders aren't that cool, especially
what was
with that
really
new logo, mate.
Oh, we're going to go over the new logo. What was interesting about the Waratahs was that the young guy's parents were there watching him playing his first match. And when he scored his first try, they were like, oh, yeah, give him a little claps. And then he scored his second try, and they were like going bananas. And it was just nice. It was like going back to like high school rugby type stuff. Probably some of the quality of it was high school rugby as well. Stormers v Hurricanes. This was a real surprise, wasn't it?
Disappointing.
Oh,
what happened?
Well, you said
27-0.
You said the Hurricanes were going to win.
Yes.
And I said the Hurricanes, it would be too much for them. But
far too much for them, obviously. What was going on?
They were just absolutely rubbish.
They're garbage, weren't they?
It's like, Bowden's left.
Yeah.
And Savia is injured. And it's like,
the world's going to end.
Will just won't turn up then. Because Lamape did not turn up.
No.
Now, that's the issue. You know I love Lamape.
Yes.
You love Lamape?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
The world loves Lamape.
But Lamape is not a leader.
No.
He's not someone who's going to run a backline.
He's still pretty young as well.
So you've got TJ, who...
He came off the bench, I think.
Good player. Captain, I think. Isn't he captaining this year?
Yeah, but again, he's not that much of a leader.
No, and then you've got Fletcher playing at 10. Wow. I mean, he literally looks like my son, who's 12. Then you've got Lamape, and then you've got Proctor.
Yeah.
So, you would think Proctor and Lamape, happy days. You'd think Barrett at the back, happy days. But just no leadership there in that back line, and they didn't have any ideas how to stop him.
Didn't look good.
Didn't look good, mate.
The Jaguares versus the Lions.
They look real nice, didn't they? Didn't they look good?
It's the World Cup team.
It's the Argentinian national side out again.
Thrashed them.
No, actually, you got to give it to them. This is not their national side.
Matera's gone.
Matera has gone, and they welcome in a wealth of new talent, and it showed.
Matera's gone.
I know. I told you this last week.
We love Matera.
It's like you don't listen to me.
We love Matera.
Do you know who else has gone?
Who?
The Sunwolves fullback. What's his name?
Oh, what is his name?
Masarewa.
Yes, Masarewa. Where's he gone?
Oh, where he was going, I'm moving next door. Why didn't someone pick him up?
Oh, my God.
Why isn't someone picking up Masarewa? I would put Masarewa in the All Blacks.
Yeah. A bit much, mate.
Why not? The Jaguares, the only thing with Jaguares was their stadium was empty.
Yeah.
So not great, is it? I mean,
no.
But there we go. So that is the round one results. For me, Crusaders obviously did well. Jaguares did fantastically well. You'd say for Chiefs, it was a great win for them.
Yeah.
Brumbies, solid. And then everyone else kind of scrapping it out for a win. But, for the Sunwolves, it'll be possibly, a game.
Highlight of the season.
It might be, though. That's the shame of it. It might be their first game and last good game. But we'll see how they develop as the season goes on.
Right. Next week's games. First one, Highlanders versus the Sharks.
Now, do you think the Highlanders are going to win?
I've put the Highlanders to win.
Highlanders are at home.
Yes. First game for them as well. They didn't play last week.
They're not going to win, eh?
Oh, what?
Do you know what? The
I
player,
love the Highlanders.
The player who they found in the frozen food section at the supermarket is going to let them down on Saturday. On Friday night, actually.
Who have you picked to win then?
Sharks, definitely. So you're going to go Highlanders.
Yeah.
I'm saying Sharks. Rugby Forecast are saying Highlanders by 9. Now, I reckon that algorithm has had some serious alcohol in the system because...
I'm not sure it's working properly, big fella.
Just Graham needs to go and give that computer a bit of a slap because to win by 9, I'll be standard corrected. I think that obviously the Highlanders last year were good though, I suppose. They were the team, weren't they? We spoke about them being a great team.
Yeah.
Maybe that can get them through. Brumbies versus the Rebels. Who are you going to go for?
The Melbourne Brumbies. Just the Brumbies.
Easy Brumbies, eh? Brumbies are gonna. I think they're gonna absolutely whoop them. I reckon 11's been kind to the Rebels.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
So 11 points, easy.
Yeah.
For the Brumbies. Next up, Chiefs versus Crusaders.
Yeah, I've gone the Crusaders.
I think the Chiefs are gonna win it.
Do you think so?
I think the Chiefs are gonna win it.
I would love to see the Chiefs win.
Do you know where I think the Chiefs will win it? I think the Crusaders got an amazing back line. But I just think in the forwards, when it comes to their subs coming on, they don't have as much depth as they've had in the last 5 or 6 seasons. They've always had a strong forward pack and a good back line, whereas I think they've got an amazing back line and a good forward pack. I just think the Chiefs are gonna nudge it being at home. That's what I think. If they were playing Crusaders playing at home, I think the Crusaders would win. But it might be a marker for the rest of the season.
Yeah, maybe.
The Warren Gatland effect is starting to creep in, as we've said before. Yeah, definitely. Waratahs Blues. Oh, sorry. Rugby Forecast says Crusaders by 4.
Yeah. So it's going to be close.
It's going to be close, isn't it?
Go either way. It might be a draw.
Yeah, I
called a draw last week.
You did, and you were wrong.
Yeah, I was very wrong.
Yeah. Waratahs versus the Blues.
Blues.
Yeah, Blues for me.
Yeah.
Blues for me. I don't think it'll be away, though. It's a away match.
Yeah, I know.
That could be interesting for the only... If Barrett was playing, definitely the Blues.
Do you think so?
Definitely the Blues, but he's not playing, I'm guessing. I think he's out for the first 6 games.
That's a lot of games.
A lot of games, yeah. But Rugby Forecast have said the Waratahs by 1.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I think the travel for the Waratahs being away from home to be at home, that could be an advantage to them.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I just think because the Blues have been at home and now they're going away from home.
Yeah, but they're not going far though, are they?
No, they're not going far. Lions versus the Reds.
Reds for me.
Yeah, Reds for me. Rugby Forecast is saying the Lions by 13. That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Amazing. Stormers versus the Bulls.
Stormers are at home.
Stormers looked...
They're second table.
They're second table?
As in second in the table.
Oh, they're second in the table?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Stormers, mate, for me. And Stormers for the rugby.
Just watch it, okay? Just watch it.
I've got to take these opportunities when I can get them. Rugby Forecast saying Stormers by 6. And last but not least...
Jaguares versus the Hurricanes. And I've gone Jaguares.
That's hard. Isn't it hard? I mean, I've bet against the Crusaders this week. You've bet against the...
Yeah.
I think you might be betting against the Hurricanes for a lot of the season.
Yes, I know, yeah.
So, Jaguares by 2. I think it'll be way more than 2.
Yeah, I agree.
Way more than 2.
Yeah.
So, up next, mate, we're going to talk over what we think of the new Crusaders logo.
I'm not so sure. I'm really not so sure. I really like the old one. I'm not sure why they had to change it.
Oh, you know why they had to change it was because of the terrorist attack in Christchurch.
What? And a guy holding a sword is...
Well, what I don't get about the whole thing is they've changed the logo, but not the name. Surely
it's the name that's the problem.
Obviously, the name is the issue. But what I don't get is, surely you have to change the name and the logo. You couldn't change the name and keep the logo because that, unless you called it the Knights.
What would you name? What would you call it?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Well, what would you call it?
You could call it Canterbury Knights, couldn't you? If you
know
what I'm trying to say is, if you wanted to keep the logo, which it makes no sense. Well, what makes absolutely no sense is that you keep the name, which is the part that probably people had an issue with, being the Crusades.
Yes.
But you changed the logo. Now I can tell you why they changed the logo. They wanted to make more money. Didn't they?
They did, yeah.
They wanted to make more money. They said, we could rebrand this. Now everyone's got to go out and buy the new tops, and they won't buy the new tops because no one likes the new logo.
God, the new logo's absolutely awful.
That was the old logo.
Yes.
Traditional Crusaders with the knight.
Block out red.
Yeah. And then the new one. There we go. And actually, when I first saw it, I didn't know what everyone's problem was. Did you? Did you first see it and think?
It was just a bit odd. I just think, can we go through the slides some more?
Well, look,
I really like the next slide.
Well, no, hang on. The Crusaders chief executive, Colin Mansbridge,
what a name.
Mansbridge, said the new logo is styled red and black, C's, representing the entire region and not just Christchurch, and reflect the Maori heritage of the South Island. I'm like, okay, so let's have a look.
You could have done a bit better.
You could have done a bit bigger because that's what people are coming up with. Now, if you're not watching on YouTube, you need to get yourself over to YouTube now so you can see these slides.
Especially this one.
Because it's basically a cock and two balls.
Oh, gosh, that's harsh. But you're right, it is.
It is. And then if we go forward, this is what some people are creating. This is what some people are going out there and they're saying, hang on, when you look at it like that, it doesn't look too bad.
No.
But when you look at them in isolation, it's quite obvious what they look like.
The next one's even better.
Yeah, the next one's even better, where they are facing each other. Yeah. And I'm sure people have added a few little additional...
Coinky dinks.
Yeah. A few little strands of hair and...
Oh, mate, too much. Next slide, come on.
I was going to have some other well-known rebranding, but I couldn't really come up with it, mate. So basically, most people, what they do is they change just their logo slightly.
Or they change the city where they're from.
Yeah, like the LA Rams.
Yes,
used to be the St. Louis Rams.
Yes, exactly. Things like that.
Bring their team to a new market.
Yeah.
So we're not a fan of the new logo.
No.
And I hate the fact that I think they used it as an excuse to try and make some more money.
How dare they?
How dare they?
Yeah.
And I get it. Why would they?
It's because attendance numbers to the crowd numbers are so low. They need money from somewhere else because they're not getting it from
shirt sales and yeah. I suppose if you're a real fan, and I am a real fan, but I'm not running out there to buy the new shirt.
Are you not?
No.
I'm just going to buy the logo.
I'm waiting for you to buy it for me for my birthday, mate.
Hell no. When is your birthday? Ages away.
Up next, we're going to talk over who's going to win the Six Nations.
Yeah, not England.
We have had Nick Leeson, who's asked us, why are we not talking about the Six Nations? Six Nations on, and we're not talking about it. Who's going to win it? What do we think? So we're going to go very briefly, and we're going to say we don't really care, but we're going to tell you anyway.
Wales is probably going to win it.
No.
I hope France win it. That'd be good.
Oh, yeah. I mean, let's look at the first games. You've got Wales 42 versus Italy 0.
Yeah.
That was kind of...
It was one-sided.
Hey, but Parise, they're giving him his last game in Rome.
Are they?
Yes. Class. They listened to our podcast and they said, you know what? Damien and Toby normally talk absolute rubbish, but they have actually talked
Speak for yourself, Damo. Speak for yourself. Ireland, Scotland.
Great game.
1912.
Great game.
Scotland lost the game. Ireland did not win it.
Scotland's captain, Stuart Hogg, dropped the ball over the try line.
Yeah. Awful.
You know he's captain by self-choice. No one else wanted to do it. And he was like, I'll do it.
Really?
And the coach was like, no, is there anyone else? No, I'll do it. No.
The guy at the back jumping, I'll do it, sir. I'll do it.
Who's that?
Okay, we won't have one. I'll do it. No, we just won't have one.
We'll bring someone out of retirement to do it. What about that? And eventually he won it. He won that. He was like in a lottery.
Yeah, but he still dropped the ball over the line. Great player though, Stuart Hogg. France, England. What a game that was. Absolute beauty. France went out to a nice early lead. England sort of tried to reel them back in. Which they did look pretty good in the second half, to be fair.
And to be fair, those scores are less Six Nation-esque aren't they? There's a few more tries being scored.
Zero.
Yeah, but that's Italy. That's normal for Italy. No, just remember, they're building for the next World Cup.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Are they starting now?
What makes
We're
me laugh?
starting from zero.
What makes me laugh is when they say, "Oh, should we give? Shall Italy this be their last Six Nations, and we'll replace them with Georgia?" Oh, like they're going to win. No. If you're a Georgian, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a go because you're going to do as well as Italy, but.
Not very well.
They should be looking at Japan, yeah, absolutely. But we need to get in there earlier. The Sanzar need to get in earlier and get Japan. They play great rugby.
Yes, they do. They
lots of money,
rugby,
lots of audience.
Yes,
why not? But who do we think is going to win? Well, I think it's going to come out of these three: either France, Wales, or England.
You still think England can win it?
I still think England can win it. I can tell you why.
Why?
I think France are going to drop the ball somewhere along the line. They're going to do France, right?
They're going to do a France.
They almost did it on Saturday. And Sean Edwards has done an amazing job being the defensive coach. But even with a rock-solid defence that they had in the first half, it looked shaky in the second half. They're young. They're going to be away from home. They're going to have some patties. There's going to be a few baguettes thrown out, the basket. The basket. I just see them losing to someone else, and I think they could lose to. They're not going to lose to Italy. No one loses to Italy. But they could lose to Scotland.
Yeah.
I don't think they would, but they could lose to Ireland, or they could lose to Wales, and that means that England could beat everyone else.
Yeah.
So,
you don't think Ireland?
No, definitely not Ireland this year. I think they've lost. Their last year was too much of a scar tissue on a lot of those players.
Yeah.
That they're going to struggle to come out the right side. If they just have a steady season, then, they should be counting their chickens, really. I'm going to say I think it's going to be Wales. And you said Wales and I kind of mocked you. But Wayne Pivac is a great coach, and arguably if he does great things with Wales, he might push himself up into that super coach bracket himself. But he's a great coach.
I haven't even heard of him.
He's done a lot. He's done a lot of good things, taking the Scarlets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's done a lot of good things there. So potentially Wales have got a good team, good squad to choose from.
Good.
Whereas England lost that first game. So I'm going to say Wales, but any of those lot could win. That's for sure. Let's look at who's leading the conferences at the moment. So
Jaguares by goal difference or try difference.
And I can see them staying there. We chose them to start the season, and they're leading at the moment. So Stormers are second, Sharks are third, Bulls, and then the Lions. Now, remember last year the Lions were right down the bottom, and then they made their way back. Don't have the squad this year, do they?
No, lost too many.
The New Zealand Conference, the mighty Crusaders are up there. They got the old bonus point where the Chiefs didn't. The Highlanders are in third, even though they haven't played a game. And the Blues Blues will go up.
Yeah, hope so.
I reckon it'll be the Chiefs, and we said this, didn't we? We say the Chiefs, the Crusaders, and then the Blues. And the Highlanders and the Hurricanes will be fighting out for that last spot.
Will. Yeah.
And the last one...
This is a pretty sight.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
The Sunwolves are leading. We said the Reds would be winning this year's conference, and it'd be the Sunwolves for us right now.
Woohoo.
And it may be the last time they're up there, that's for sure. And they're only up there because... Why? Why are they up there?
They're up there for points difference.
Points difference, yeah. Points difference. Nice. So, mate...
We talked about a lot.
We have talked about a lot. I'm gonna I've got next week's topics. Next week, because I wanted to mention that we are going to talk about some quite exciting things next week.
Oh, right, okay.
We're going to bring back the quiz.
Oh, yeah, boy.
Quiz is coming back next week.
I was bloody good at the quiz,
You were terrible at the quiz. It was probably the weakest part of your game last year. We are going to talk
and
about...
that's saying something.
We're going to talk about how you go about keeping the best coaches in your country. We're going to talk about which country has the best schoolboy rugby setup, and we need your help.
Yeah.
We need your help. We know a lot about England. We know a lot about New Zealand, but we don't know that much about Australia and South Africa or Ireland. The Welsh setup's pretty good. So if you've got any information on how schoolboy rugby works in your country, can you send it through to us at the Super Rugby Podcast at gmail.com? That'd be fantastic. But that's it, mate. We're done for another week.
Another day, no dollars.
No dollars.
Just another
mate.
day.
Just another day.
Yeah.
One day there may be dollars.
One day.
That'd be nice.
That'd be cool.
You could buy me that Crusaders top with a new...
I'll make my own logo, mate.
The new 2 cocks on the...
I'll take my own picture.
But as always, it's been a pleasure being in your eardrums.
Sure. Or in your... I don't know, mate. I don't know.
Definitely, mate. That's how they hear.
Yes, I
in
know,
the eardrums.
It's just a weird little saying. Anyway, mate.
Until next time, it's been a pleasure.